Good morning, everyone. And thank you to the Sairam Engineering College. The Computer Science Department, HOD and faculty. For inviting me and Arunjit for this wonderful session. We are very happy to to share our knowledge with all of you. Right. Can I just so we have about 80 odd people, right? Let's keep this interactive, right? Please ask me doubts, questions, so you all can learn from me, right? So the more questions you ask, the more I will be sharing my knowledge, right? So let's keep this interactive. And just so you are aware, so this is what day, what are the things you have previously covered? Can anyone share so that I can just continue from there? Just a perspective. What are the things that have been covered? I think it's been muted. You all can use the chat option, right? You all can use the chat option, right, to ask questions and also seek any clarifications, right? So what has been covered? What is it that you have learned? All of you have learned. I'm just trying to understand. So I can relate to what you have learned, and as a continuity, I can start. Anyone? Okay, fine. We will, as I said, if it is a monologue, people would have played a video lecture, right? So I expect you to interact with me, so you all can learn, right? So you're all faculty members. You know how it feels, when the students are not interacting. So I don't have to tell that, right? Yes. So let's mute the line as and if we will use the yes, yes, sir. Okay. So if you can unmute, those who are not talking, that will be helpful. Okay, basics of deep learning, usable, teachable machines. Okay, fine. Someone has mentioned. See, I want to start from very, very basic thing. Okay, and then we will get into all this, very strong, area, right? Deep learning, is a huge subject, right? So we will do that. Just a quick wrap, about my introduction. As I mentioned, as Madam introduced, just want to share with everyone. I'm Govind, and I come with over 2 decades of experience. Predominantly in the tech side, and bulk of the experience is with Hewlett Packard. I'm also an author. I've written books, and so let's get started. As I said, uh, this is a wonderful area. So, can anyone tell me what are the three major components of AI? Let's start from the very basic. Can anyone tell what are the three major components of AI? Rather, if someone tries to understand AI, what are the three major components? You're all, so we will start from there and then get into other things. What are the three major components of AI? Speech recognition, yeah, that is one way of looking at it. I want to, go from something very, very fundamental. What are the three major components of AI? Yes, there is speech recognition, computer vision. We all come to the most advanced form at a very, very basic level, right? Let's say a student comes to you and asks you, right, sir or ma'am, I want to learn AI. What are the three things that you will say are necessary, and that is what is needed in the real world also? Sensor, we are all going very high. Okay, let's come to the ground. What is the very, very basic thing? What is the very, very basic thing of AI, right? What are the three components? Learning, okay, yeah, yeah. That's my question is, as I said, somebody comes to you and says that, I am interested in learning artificial intelligence and machine learning. So if someone asks you that, what will you say? Are the two, three, the three things rather. I'm being very specific.
Sir,
What?
it is learn, trial.
Okay, that is one way of looking at it. Not saying it's incorrect. What you've said are all correct versions, right? All of you, gave some interesting insights. But I'm asking something very, very fundamental. Very, very fundamental. Yes. Good morning, Sarah.
Like human, we have to train the machine.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. What else? How, if someone were to learn AI, right, and that applies to, deep learning and the most advanced form of application, what are the three major components? That is what I am trying to ask you.
Automation.
Okay. I hope you all can see my screen, right? Three circles Venn diagram I'm trying to put. You all can see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So what are the three components? Try. You all know this, right? And this is the way to teach machine learning, and this is the way to learn, AI. When I
Sir,
say machine
one
learning,
is learn, one is train, one is test.
correct, correct. AI, ML, DL. Okay. What else, sir?
Training, testing, and automation.
Right. Training, testing, and automation. Okay. What else? What about others? I'm hearing only from a few people. There are about 113, excluding, me and Arun, there are 110 people. ML is a subset of AI, right? See, I have put a Venn diagram. So I'm interested more in the intersection. Data infrastructure culture, okay, computing power, right? AI, ML, DL, yes, yes. We'll all come to that. We will all come to that. My aim is to show you some applications as well, so you all can understand. See, and I think as educators, you must know this, okay? There are three major components when it comes to teaching AI, when it comes to learning AI, or when it comes to developing an AI application. For all three things, right? Learning, teaching, and developing AI application, right? So, what are these three things? M stands for math, okay? P stands for programming. DK is domain knowledge, okay? So, please understand this, right? AI is a lot about math and stats, right? So someone, learning or developing AI can actually specialize in any one of the three areas. It is impossible for someone to specialize in all three. Okay. That person will only be a jack of all, right? I can say that I will specialize in math. I can specialize in programming. I can specialize in domain knowledge, right? So this machine learning is actually at the intersection of all three. When I say machine learning, I'm referring to the broader AI umbrella, right? So in normal programming, right, you all computer people, right, you have learned in normal computer programming, what are the things that are relevant? Out of the three, what is relevant? Let's say, in a normal computer program. Can anyone say that? So what are the things that are, needed in a computer program as compared to a machine learning application. Yes, please. Code, yeah. Python. Instructions with, yeah. Right. Anyone else? In a computer program, there are only two things. You have programming and you have domain knowledge. In a computer program. What is the example of a computer program? Can anyone tell? What is the example of a computer program that I'm talking about? Any computer program, right? Where it is applied. All real world problem. Let's give an example, no? Give an example. Give an example of a computer program that is at play, that is working. Chrome, okay, yeah, Chrome is a browser, yes. Chrome browser. What else?
MS Word, MS Excel, sir.
Sorry, what is that? Sorry, ma'am.
MS Word, MS Excel, Adapt Photoshop. This kind of
Yes,
examples of computer.
but I'm asking about application. For example, Zoom that you are using, right? The call where it's a computer program, right? I'm talking from an application perspective. So to develop a Zoom program, or another example is an IRCTC website, right? You all order food from Zomato app. All these are examples of computer program. And to develop that computer program, I need to know programming and I need to know domain knowledge. For example, if I'm developing Zomato app, I need to know how the ordering system works, right? I need to know how the hotel industry works, right? Yes or no? And I need to know, all the programming aspects. When I say programming, I'm referring to, the infrastructure, right? Database, everything. You have back end, front end, so on and so forth, right? So that is so you all understand the difference. Does anyone not understand? Because these are like the ground floor, right? This is like the ground floor of understanding AI, right? So AI is at the intersection of three things, whereas a computer program is at the intersection. This math component is not there in computer program. Please understand that there is no math, whereas in AI, math is clear. Any questions? Any doubts? Right? Now, a lot of people, while talking about this, mentioned about, you know, uh, the AI, ML, DL, and all that, right? So, can anyone tell me what is the difference between the three? When I asked about, the three major components, you mentioned it, right? So, what is this AI, ML, DL? What are the three components? What is the difference between AI, ML, and DL? Can anyone say that?
ML is supervised learning. DL is unsupervised learning.
Okay, I will answer that. Anything else? Anything else? ML needs future extraction. Okay, that is one way of saying it. DL doesn't require future extraction. Yeah. But what is the difference between AI, ML, and DL? What is this AI and what is this ML? What is the difference between the two then? Why? And in fact, we use a terminology called data science, right? Nowadays.
Sir, ML is used for a little amount of data set. DL is used for a huge amount of data set.
Okay. Then what is AI, ma'am?
Sir, both are command as AI, sir.
Okay. What
It is
else?
a subset of A is the subset of ML and DL.
Okay. What else? What else? Hundred and 30 people, but only hardly hearing from 10 to 15 people. Just less than 10% are participating. And I'm asking about AI, a very, very basic thing, right? We will start from basic and we will get into that, right? What is the difference between ML and DL? And how does it differ from here? Making the machine, okay, what is that? Making the machine. Right, yeah, you are telling, yes, ML has many algorithms. That is true. That is true. Okay, DL has got, yeah, fine, but more fundamentally, see, unless you get into that, what is the difference between AI, ML, and DL, right? What is the difference? ML is able to function on CPU. AI tries to give entire information. ML gives part. No, no. If someone made a mention to big data, no, that is a different topic, but I will touch that so you get that conceptual clarity. Anyone else? Less human intervention. DL is computer learning. You mean to say that there is no computer learning in ML?
Hello.
Machine learning is a subset. Yeah, yeah. Machine learning is a subset. Deep
When
learning is a subset of, yeah, okay.
when we need high accuracy, then you can go for DL.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Even with ML, we are achieving very high
Because
levels
it contains multiple layer perceptron, so that it will get high accuracy.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling it. Not necessarily. True that DL has got higher accuracy, right? There are a lot of combinations. Anything else? Only few people have come closer to answering that. I will
Yes,
say
that
one.
AI further classified into ANN, CNN, RNN.
AI is classified into ANN, CNN,
No,
RNN.
no.
Ah, you're saying DL is classified.
Yeah.
But I am asking, how is then what is AI?
So when we need automated that mathematics using this mathematical tool, we can go for this. That AML DL subset of AI.
Then what is DL? Right? So which is what which is what we are
Sir,
mimicking. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
sir, AI is a computer algorithm which through the decision making, and ML is to system to learn from data, and deep learning is to analyze data and to provide output and accordingly.
ML is teaching centric, DL is learning centric.
No. No. There's
Sorry, sir.
one person who has come, rather given very good answer. Kumari, very good. That's a good answer. Any
Sir,
other point?
also Priyank, sir.
Yes. Yes, please. Actually speaking, right? Actually speaking, AI is really the headliner, right? What you see in media. Everyone talks about AI, AI, artificial intelligence, and it is a, people think, yeah, this is a huge thing, right? So AI is what, we flash in the media, right? What I call as headlines. Okay. The actual technology that is driving AI is machine learning. Core technology driving AI. Okay. And deep learning, right? Yes, Jishnu, very good. Very good. So DL is a more advanced form of machine learning. Okay, please get this correctly. Okay, AI is the headliner. Everyone says AI is the headliner. We want to achieve artificial intelligence, right? Core technology that is driving AI is machine learning. So DL is also a type of machine learning only. It's a more advanced form of machine learning, right? Is this all clear to you? This is something very important. See, the term data science, right, is somehow suddenly, cropped up in the last few years, right? This is also meant to mean machine learning in a lot of places. Okay. Honestly, no standard definition is available, as to what is data science. There is not like an ISO 9000 standard terminologies are available. But what I'm sharing, this is a more accepted form. Data science, it can be used for analyzing data, right? Now, can you tell me, we are saying artificial intelligence, right? What is the intelligence that we are talking about in this? Can anyone tell? Why this is called AI, right? What is so intelligent about it?
So without manual intervention, the machine can think itself to do their application.
Correct, that even our computers can do, right?
Yeah, without manual intervention.
Correct, manual, I just input it. Anyway, you have to program, right? That much of manual intervention I can do in computer also.
This is the automated.
So you are saying,
The
okay,
application is automated.
right?
Self-
So
self-
automatically it take decision when it
decision, the like no
yeah,
self-driving car
self-driving car is a best example for artificial intelligence.
Okay, what else? So that means, if I, let's say again, I'll come to the IRCTC website. Okay. I'm taking that example so, all of you can understand. IRCTC website has got a chatbot, right? So is chatbot AI? Is it intelligent? Making machines that handle problem solving nature for critical applications. Okay. What else? What else? Someone, tried to answer. That is a good attempt. But so others also please try. What is the intelligence in AI? What is the intelligence that we are talking about in AI? What is the intelligence that we are talking about in AI? Ability of a task that is man-made intelligence. That is why I'm telling you, all of you give that. I use a computer. Computer also does a lot of things, no? Computer also does a lot of things. There are a lot of things that Excel can do. So what is the real intelligence, that we are talking about in AI? Man-made intelligence, okay? It uses AI and natural language processing. Okay, we'll all come to that. We all will come to that. We all will come to that. So, yeah, machine can solve problem accurately than man. That is true, man. That is true. For problem solving, I can use Excel. Intelligent output is there. Yes, we can use that. Yes. What else? So what is the real intelligence that we are talking? If you see all the places, they will put the photo of a brain, no?
Sir,
Uh-huh.
hello.
Yeah.
Sir, like brain, it take decisions, sir.
Like brain, it takes decision. Okay, fine. So we will come to yes.
Sir, to understand the user or customer questions and automated to respond them.
Okay, fine. What else? That all our computers can do. We will come to that. Okay. So let's park this question for a while. So can anyone tell how does ML work? ML or DL operate?
We develop our model. Once model is developed, you are training. After that, you are test. Then create
Right.
our result.
But what happens inside the model?
We have to train our model based upon our input. We think this means we are giving train.
Correct. You're right. You're absolutely right. Training, pre-processing, everything is happening like test data, train data. But what really happens? How
Sir,
does
Actually, mapping. We are mapping
mapping what?
our input to predicted out.
Correct. But if I map the input to predicted output, it'll. So what? There is something else going on behind that. What is that?
Based on the future extraction, it may be mapping.
Correct. Future extraction, it'll extract. But more fundamental. I'm going. There's a very fundamental thing that I'm asking. How does machine learning and deep learning operate? You're all telling, yes, that's the way, right, at a programming perspective. But at a very, very, fundamental level, how does machine learning and deep learning operate? Is my question.
sir, we give input and output. Machine learning try to give the model for
Okay,
in. Okay, sir.
right. What else? What else?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
please go ahead. Yes.
Sir, by exploring data and identifying the patterns.
May I know who's this?
Sir, Nagapriyang, sir.
Yeah, Nagapriya is coming very close to the answer. So, would anyone want to catch a point from what Nagapriya mentioned and elaborate on it? She has come very close to the answer.
Exploring and analysis the data.
Correct. That we do, right? I'm telling that happens even in normal thing. If I in any part of data analysis, predictions from data, that's the output, right? But I'm asking, I'm also giving a clue. Okay, Nagapriya has come very close to answering. Very close, I'm telling. She has answered me. Yes.
Sir, it's predict data accurately.
Data, yes, correct. Accurately, correct. That is one aspect. What else?
Exploring visualize the data, sir.
It find the patterns and give accurate answers. For
Right.
example, the combinations.
Right. Yes, you are also very close. Who else? Anyone else?
Sir, computer only knows zeros and ones. Through the
Correct.
combination, it will predict the answer.
Okay. What else? So, anyone else want to give a try before I give the answer? So, Nagapriya, another lady, mentioned, right? So, what is the key word they used? Yes. They use the word pattern recognition, right? Pattern recognition is the way in which all the algorithms in ML and DL work, right? So before understanding this, let me ask a question. At what age a small child will recognize familiar faces?
Age 2, sir.
Sorry,
2.
you are telling at 2 years it takes?
Yes, sir.
No, no. Many people are answering. No, not above 9 months, man. The kids these days are very mature, right? So, what? 6 months we can fairly say, not 1 month. DC, Mr. or Mrs., I don't know, Miss, not 1 month. We can safely say 3 to 6 months time period, not 40 days, Sabina. I don't think so. I don't think kids recognize. How do you think they recognize familiar faces? I'm sure many of you, would be fathers and mothers and would have seen kids, right? And we have all been kids. How does kids recognize faces? Correct. Good, sir. Selva Kanmani, good ma'am. How does the kid recognize faces? What is happening? Learning by features, okay. Do you think if this is asked in other subject?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Continuously seeing the same face that it is easily to recognize.
Correct. Images, facial recognition, face recognition. Yes. Okay, let me ask another question. If let's say 1 year has passed, right? The kid is not able to recognize faces. What does it mean? And what will you do?
Something a problem.
Okay, what else? Why do you think it's a problem?
I mean, cannot be recognized perfectly.
Okay.
It means
Teach them what is the relationship. Okay. As in seen the how is that possible, man? Similar face since long. How can the kid be seeing different faces, right? When it is just growing up.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So the baby uses maybe senses,
Baby,
sense of touch, sense of hearing.
right? What else? Yeah, sense of touch, but I'm talking about face. Familiar face, how does it recognize? I'm saying one, we said, all that.
Sir, it is
Now,
a pattern recognition like that, sir.
mhm. Okay, so if the kid is not able to recognize faces by 1 year, what will you do?
normally go to the hospital, check the doctor what's the problem.
Correct. Good. Yeah, right. That is the right thing, right? You will take to the doctor, right? What will you not check whether the child is having a vision problem?
Yes.
You will check, right? You will
Yes,
check whether the child has got vision problem, right?
yes,
Let's
yes.
assume the child is not having vision problem, and if you do all the tests, everything is fine. What do you think the doctor will say? The child is still not able to recognize.
There may be memory problem, maybe.
Okay, what else? Training for speech. Madam, please understand, we are talking of face, no? How will speech recognition come in? How will speech recognition come in? We are talking of facial thing, right? We are talking of a facial thing. So, what will the doctor say? What do you think? We have done all the tests. Cognitive ability is less as compared to ours. Correct? Correct, ma'am. What else? What will be the right terminology the doctor will use? The doctor will say the child is probably having a developmental disorder, right? So how does the familiar phases happen? It is by recognizing patterns, because there is a pattern for familiar faces and there is a pattern for unfamiliar faces, right? You recognize patterns, and that is how you detect, right? So this pattern recognition, right? Then is it the same as what we are calling as pattern recognition in ML? How do you think the two are related? How do you think the two are related? How do you think the two are related? So then let's ask one more question. Okay, what is pattern on daily basis, right? What is pattern?
Pattern is about shapes, sir.
Okay, what else, man?
Maybe round, oval.
What else? What is a pattern?
Maybe it related to structure feature also.
Uh-huh.
Sir, pattern.
Sorry, go ahead.
The structure of the activity, sir.
Okay, what else? I'm asking what is a pattern?
Structure of the object, sir.
Okay. See, let's say you all wear dresses, right? Could be a sari or a shirt.
Architecture layout of something, sir. Pattern means architecture layout of something. Some
Right,
instrument or something.
right. Regularities and similarities in data, right? So now if I say, what is a pattern of the shirt you are wearing? What will you say?
It may be checked or stripes or plain, like
Right? Checked, striped. The same thing applies to sari also, right? Like a polka. Nowadays you have temple design, whatnot, right? So on and so forth, right? So how do you say that this is a pattern? How do you say that this is a pattern, right? This is a checked pattern, right? Like this, it is there. So what is a pattern, right? How do you say that it is a pattern?
already recognized in your mind that is existing.
But I am coming before that. But how will we are talking about bringing that in computer, right? So that is what I am trying to come to.
Before that, we have
So
to store it.
see, for example, let's say you are you are just a 3-year-old boy. Assume, okay, you put a checked pattern, to the 3-year-old boy. So if I ask him what is the pattern in this, the child may not know, right? How do you know, and how will a 3-year-old doesn't know? Predefined, agreed, yeah. Correct. What else? Okay. Good, Sangeeta, you're coming closer. What else? You're coming closer, Sangeeta. What else? It's connected with similar things to recognize easy. What else? I'm asking a very simple one, right? You go to a shop and ask for, hey, give me a check shirt. We will come to neural and all later, okay? But how do you say it is a pattern? That is what, specific. We will come to rules, Sabina. But before that, what is a pattern, right? In the shirt or salwar or, sari that you all are wearing, there is some pattern, right? What is that pattern called? Yes, agreed. We will come to know.
Sir, it is a combination of lines.
Okay. What else? Please attempt. You all know I'm asking, I'm talking about clothing only, right?
Clothing.
Yes. In cloth, if I see that, I'm saying striped, checked. How do you say that it is a checked pattern? Is my question.
Sir, from childhood itself, we learn, right? This is
Ah,
checked, this is
so
oval.
correct. So, but what if you have not learnt as a child, right? That's why I gave the example of 3-year-old kid. You put a striped shirt, on that boy. The boy will not know. We'll come to pixels, Ajita. We'll come to that. It's not a. How do you say
Also
this?
teach the kid, this one is stripe, this one is oval, this one is like that.
Correct.
We also teach the kid, right? So the
Correct.
kid automatically will learn what is
Yes.
the shape, what is the pattern.
What is a pattern? Correct. You're right. Then what is then what? But what I'm asking is, what will you teach the kid? You have got a very good point. Okay, what will you teach the kid?
Sir, the shape look like
Sir,
this means it may be stripes, it may be checked. Suppose
Correct. Yes, but elaborate on it. I'm looking for
suppose
some
sir, if we
keywords.
have square
suppose if
shape
you
means it is maybe checked. If we have flower shape means it is like another type of pattern. Like that, we will teach that kid.
Correct, ma'am. But understand, let's take a sari. Okay, I
Okay,
can have
sir.
a big flower, right?
Okay,
And
sir.
I can have in another sari, I can have small flowers everywhere. What is a pattern and what is not a pattern? How will you explain? How will you explain to the shopkeeper, to the salesman at the
If the
uh,
flower is big, it is a big flower. We have different types of flower. So this is one type, this is another type. Like that, we will teach because there is a difference between rose and lily, right? The kid will automatically know.
right, right. So yes, I think many of very nicely tried it, came very close.
Okay, thank you,
The
sir.
yes, definitely. Good job. So what a pattern is, a consistent, recurrent characteristic. That is what is there in checked shirt, no? That is what is there in my temple design saree, no? The temple, what is the characteristic? Temple, right? A small temple design. It gets it gets repeated and there is consistency to the repetition. Are you understanding? Whether it is a saree, whether it is an algorithm, right? We are in the business of pattern recognition, right? And we are in the business of pattern recognition, and pattern is a consistent recurrent characteristic. You all understand? Any doubts on this? Because if you understand only, we can more
Sir, what
advanced.
is consistent, sir?
Consistency means, at the same, for example, in a temple sari, right? Maybe there is one, this is, let's say, the border, right?
Yes, sir.
I can have, this is one, right? This is getting repeated, nothing is there. So there is no consistency here. Here, it is getting repeated, but there is consistency.
Okay, sir. Now I got it, sir.
Right? You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So please understand, it's a good question. What you asked is a very good question. Okay. Go back to, have a look at the temple sari. Okay. If all of you are interested, right? The temple design will be at the border, and if two temples are not there, I know many people will go and fight, right? Why it is not there, right? What pattern are you selling, right? That's what you will say, right? Yes or no? That's what we go and tell, right? Or better still, you will go and exchange the sari, right? No one is confirming anyway. But what I'm saying is, we are interested in consistent recurring characteristic. Okay. This is how the child recognizes. This is how the child recognizes familiar and unfamiliar faces. Right? So we are interested in this particular aspect, of pattern recognition. So how do you think this is relevant for machine learning? Okay. Just mull over the question. We will take a quick 5 minutes break. Okay, we are almost at 11. We'll take a quick 5 minutes break and assemble. But as you take the break, think about this question. How this pattern recognition is relevant, in ML, right? I'm telling pattern is, like how this appears, the temple design appears in Sari, right? All this is fine, you understand, but how is that relevant in machine learning? Okay, so please think about that. 5 minutes. So how will, we said pattern is a consistent recurring characteristic. So how will this work, in a machine learning application? I hope everyone is back. How
Sir,
will
it
this?
will recognize the pattern through statistical information in an image, and it will give an output, sir.
Right.
Through matrix calculation is one of the way, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. That is one way. But essentially, please understand, it is this pattern recognition that we are trying to bring into a machine learning application. Right. So this pattern recognition is a core human intelligence. Right. This is a core human intelligence. So this particular thing we are bringing into a piece of software, right, or hardware, which is why we call it as artificial intelligence. Please understand this. I am bringing the intelligence of pattern recognition into a piece of software, and hence it is artificial intelligence. Are you getting it? Why we are calling it as AI? Right? why we are calling it as AI, right? We are.
Sir,
So
can you
this,
repeat this once again, sir?
yes. So I said children can recognize familiar, unfamiliar faces using pattern recognition, right? So if a child doesn't is unable to recognize faces by 1 year, if all the other tests are okay, the doctor will say the child is probably heading towards a developmental disorder. Why does the doctor say? Because it is a human intelligence. It is one of the human intelligences, right? One out of many. This human intelligence of pattern recognition, we are bringing into a piece of software. So this is not natural intelligence, right? This is artificial. Are you all understanding? Right? So that is how things operate. Okay. So please understand how things work. Right? We are trying to bring the human intelligence into a piece of software. You all must understand, right? Because only when you understand this, that you can share it with your students, and you can share this knowledge with different people, right? So that is where we are, right? We are trying to bring this intelligence into human beings, and hence the word artificial intelligence. Now let me ask another question. When I say AI, right, what is the movie that comes to your mind? What is the movie that comes to your mind?
Robo.
Okay, what else?
Indian 2.0, sir.
Right. Then,
Vallamai.
sorry,
Vallamai.
is it? It's I don't know.
Ajit movie.
It's a AI. Okay, I don't know. Raw one, right? Shah Rukh Khan's movie. That is also. What else? Any English movies that come to your mind? Okay. So Robo Rawan, is the thing. Now, please understand. Please understand. There is also another movie called Terminator. Right? People don't watch movies, I guess. Right? Indian movies, not much of AI is there. If you see English movies, a lot of AI is there. So I'm going to give few English movie names. I'm going to recommend you to watch it. Okay, right? So AI love you. I don't know what movie is that? Which this thing? Moonfall. Okay, I the robot. Yeah, yeah. That AI love you is what movie is it? Venkat? I'm not aware of Moonfall as well. Fine, there are a lot of movies, right? So now my question. So what you see in movies, is that what AI all about? So what you see in movies, is that what AI is all about? Is that what you are all learning? Is that what you are all going to develop? Is that what you see in movies? Is that what you are all developing? Is that what you are teaching? Can you please answer? Minority Report, yeah, yeah. Not really. There is a better movie. Okay, Minority Report. Well, there are facets of that. Predicts. I will tell you a good movie for that. Okay, Balaji, I'll tell you a better movie. So now coming to the question: is what you see in movie, is that what AI? Is that what you are also teaching your students? So that brings us to another topic. There are two types of AI. What are the two types of AI? We have already seen machine learning, deep learning. In addition to that, what are the two types of AI?
Sir, labeled, unlabeled data was.
No,
Okay.
no. What else? Good, good, Ajita. Very good. So, do you know what is strong AI, VK? What is strong AI, VK? Yes, please. Narrow, general. What else? Yes, please attempt.
Sir, with one hidden layer,
No.
single layer with multiple layer.
Mhm. Okay, what is?
Strong AI is where strong AI is where the mission needs equally intelligence as of humans.
Okay, then what is VK?
So it predicts, but not that much of human intelligence it expects.
Okay. What else? What about others? Not necessarily, no, Venkat. Not necessarily. What else? Think. Complexity differs. That is one way of looking at it. What else?
Sir, time complexity.
Okay, what else? You can say accuracy, yeah, yeah. What else?
Small data set, large data set.
No, that won't make a difference. That won't make a difference.
Time and space complexity maybe, sir.
Okay. No, not necessarily.
Okay, sir.
What else?
Strong AI is something like advanced. Weak AI is similar like what we do, like human intelligence.
No, can you come again? Sorry, I missed the first part.
So strong AI is beyond the human intelligence. It might be in terms of prediction, it might be in terms of fast, etc. But weak AI is similar like what we think.
Okay.
Maybe, sir.
Fine, you're coming somewhat closer. What else?
Sir,
So,
strong AI is a complex algorithm.
no, not necessarily.
Okay.
What else? So, I mentioned, pattern recognition. Yeah, you can, say that, but we are achieving a very high level of accuracy here also. See, pattern recognition is a form of intelligence, right? Is a core human intelligence right? It is, besides this, we have many intelligence, right? We have the ability to reason, right? We have so many intelligences,
Sir, learn
right?
from experience, strong AI.
No, 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 no. So the human intelligence, I'm saying pattern recognition is one, reasoning is another, right? Like this, there are so many intelligences. So what you see in movies, right, is actually strong AI, where machines are at the level of human beings. Weak AI, on the other hand, we are only talking of one intelligence, that is pattern recognition. So all that you are learning, all that you are teaching, all that the world is today doing is in the realm of weak AI only. All the machine learning, deep learning, everything is weak AI only. Please understand. Even with this weak AI, we are solving a lot of problems. Right? Even with this weak AI, we are solving a lot of problems. So I mentioned, there are a couple of good movies, that you can watch to understand AI. Okay. One is, there is a TV series in Amazon called Person of Interest. You can watch this. I will mention about the second little later, right? So someone, when I asked earlier, right, when I asked about AI, someone mentioned about structured data and unstructured data. What is the difference between structured data and unstructured data? Can you give examples?
CSV file is a structured data, sir.
Okay.
Unstructured data, maybe image.
What else?
Facebook is best example for unstructured data.
Sorry.
Facebook is best example for unstructured data.
Not necessarily. No? Not necessarily. What else? Facebook uses structured data also, right? They use good amount of structured data.
The combination of structured and unstructured. Most of them data is unstructured data.
Okay. What else? What is the difference between structured and unstructured? Sorry. And how is that relevant to AI? That is another question. Please try to answer both. Okay.
The
What is
structured
the
data you can use, the pattern is recognized easily.
sorry?
The structured data patterns are recognized very easily.
Okay. What else?
Sir, through unstructured data, we learn a lot of patterns.
Okay. What else?
So structured data follows particular format which fits to our machine learning algorithm, sir.
Structured data classification, sir. Unstructured data clustering.
No. What else?
So structured data format fits to our algorithm, whereas unstructured data, it's in naive format, original format, like audio files, etc.
All right. So you're all coming close to that, right? What is the core thing, right? You're not answering that. And what is the how is it relevant to AI?
Both.
How is that relevant to AI?
Sir, artificial intelligence model predictions and all depends upon the quality of data, sir.
That is true. Quality is different, right? Quality is different, right? You know, it's a different facet. What is the difference between structured and unstructured data? And how is that relevant to AI, right? Our topic is AI, right? And deep learning in particular.
Sir, if it is structured means through matrix format, we can easily go for prediction, sir. That is structured.
Okay.
If unstructured means that accuracy may be vary, sir.
Okay.
Because height, height and width, it may
Right.
be vary.
Okay. What else? Is predefined. Unstructured data can also be predefined. No? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You can have qualitative, quantitative, and unstructured also. Venkat, you are close, but not fully. What else? Please answer. This is a very, very, try to answer. Think. What is the difference between structured and unstructured data? Please think.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, structured data means data that that can be represented in a column and row fashion. So that is called as a structured data, tables. And unstructured means the data that cannot be represented in a column and
Fine. What is this called, ma'am?
audio and the videos.
Right. Correct, ma'am. So what is this rows and column? What do you actually call it as?
Matrix format, sir.
Matrix. What else, ma'am?
Matrix. What else?
What type of database is that?
So rows and columns is called a table.
Right. Purna Devi has answered it correctly. Okay. It is RDBMS. Right? Relational Database Management System. I have one after the other. Right? I can't have duplicates. One table is related to the other. I can have one-to-many, one-to-one relationship and all. Right? In unstructured data, structured data, I can only store rows and columns. How will I fit in an image in a rows and column? How will I fit in an MP3, MP4? Right? For this, I need unstructured data. That means it is not like, it won't go in a sequential fashion. So unstructured data is also called as what? The framework to handle unstructured data. What is it called? What is the framework to handle unstructured data called?
Sir, how do through height and width?
Correct.
We can...
Yeah. What is that framework called as?
Sir, Hadoop.
Correct. Hadoop. Yes. But what is that framework called as? What is that framework called as?
Sir, image resize like that.
What else? I'm talking about the framework
Framework.
that can be used to process unstructured data.
Through pre-processing, we will
Correct. Pre-processing, all of that we will do.
through pre-processing.
But more fundamentally, what is the framework that I use to handle unstructured data? It's known as big data. You've heard of this term, right? So it is all, unstructured, right? So how is this relevant to AI? Can anyone tell? How is this relevant to AI? This understanding of structured, unstructured data is relevant. How is that relevant to AI?
Sir, cleaning data.
What else? What else? What else? How is that relevant to AI?
Sir, using some filters, we will clean the data, sir.
Correct. But the structured, unstructured data, how is that relevant to AI?
Because if we have noise in the particular data, means our prediction may be not done correct. So we go for pre-processing.
Pattern recognition.
Correct. Pattern recognition is there in both actually. No. Structured, unstructured. No. How is that relevant to AI? Right? No, Venkat. Decision making is there in both. How is this relevant to AI? Think. How is that relevant to AI? So we saw two types of AI, no?
Sir, it's learned from pattern.
It happens both, ma.
Both.
Yeah. So we have two types of AI, right? We saw MLDL.
Yeah.
So data is structured, unstructured. Right? This is rows and columns, tables, RDBMS. This big data. You have JPEG, MP3, MP4, so on and so forth. So typically, machine learning is used when, or rather put differently, deep learning is used in the area of image recognition, video, right? So on and so forth. When your data set is predominantly tabular, you use only ML. Please understand this. I said AI is the headliner, ML is the technology driving AI, deep learning is an advanced form of ML. And all of this work through pattern recognition only. Right? So this is weak AI, not strong AI. Please understand. Right? So when your data set is tabular, I use only a machine learning algorithm. right? If it is a deep learning, good morning, Dr. Chetna. So if I use a deep learning, okay, model, I will predominantly be working on image and videos, right? Are you understanding where this is coming? I can use deep learning for tabular data also. I can use tabular data and bring it into deep learning also, right? When will I use tabular data in deep learning? Can anyone answer? I know some of you, were bringing that point. We are trying to bringing that point,
Through CSV file, sir.
yes, of course, through. Can you give a scenario?
If you want to predict that the COVID patient,
Correct, yeah.
we use the tabular column to find out that.
But I'm saying tabular is best handled through machine learning. So when will I use, tabular data and bring it into deep learning?
You are representing images in the form of only the matrix. That time you can use table form of data.
See, that is correct. When I say tabular, I'm referring to, like numbers, right? Numeric and non-numeric. When will you use, I'm saying, tabular data containing numeric and non-numeric, right? That's what I meant here. So if you have a database of numeric and non-numeric, it is best handled through machine learning. But there is a particular scenario where we will use deep learning. What is that? But understand, deep learning
ML
is
is take
predominantly
10
for.
future means DL will take 100 features to predict.
You are very close. Can you elaborate? You are very close.
Your DL having multi-layer perceptron so that it can extract more features.
Okay. What else?
Which look like a human brain, mimic human brain.
Correct. Correct. See, as I told you, please always understand. It is that both ML and DL, mimics human pattern recognition. No.
But the DL may support multi-layer perceptron.
Correct. Correct. That is there. But when will I use deep learning? When I have a tabular, numeric, non-numeric data.
Sir, if we use small data set means ML. So if we want to use a huge number of data set, for example, for a district, we have to find out that COVID patient means DL will work better than ML.
Can you elaborate? You're coming close.
Elaborate.
Can you elaborate? Yeah, we're coming close.
ML DL, we will predict a huge number of data set. For example, lakhs. If we have lakhs amount of data set also means through DL we can easily predict that who is.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. No, see, I will connect my ML application to a database. I will connect my ML application, to a database.
Sir, more training we get accurate results, sir. Compare with ML, DL is take more features to learn.
See,
the deep learning.
Yes.
To
Deep
learn.
learning. Yeah.
Sir, if we are using categorical tabular data, that time we can use deep learning.
Sir, deep learning mainly used for images, sir.
Correct. That is what I said. Yes, you are right. Deep learning is mainly used for images and videos.
So when you go for non-categorical data, that time you can go for DL.
No, what do you mean by a non-categorical data?
Like color. Shape.
Sorry?
Color.
Color. Okay. See, okay, fine. What else?
Sir, when we
Someone
want to,
answer this.
when with the system.
Yes, go ahead. When? Sorry, can't hear you, ma'am.
Want to extract features, we go for deep learning, sir.
You're breaking, ma'am.
Feature
Can
terms,
you
sir.
put it in
That
chat?
time we go for deep learning. Yes,
Can
sir.
you put it in chat? You're breaking, ma'am. Feature,
Feature
you're saying something.
redirection is done by system, sir.
See, when we will use is, let's say, I'm trying to detect a particular disease, let's say, right? I have, say, 100 factors, right? This is tabular data, rows and columns, right? Now, these 100 factors, the most challenging part is finding out which is the more important factors, right? In ML, it is more complicated. Dimensionality reduction, can be a topic in itself. Okay? In fact, we can talk for 30 hours, 60 hours only on dimensionality reduction. That is, I reduce the number of factors. Say, for example, what are the factors? I can have like age, height, weight, sugar, BP, like this. I can go on adding 100 factors. In machine learning, if I put 100 factors, finding out the more important factors is challenging. Whereas DL will do that automatically. So dimensionality reduction happens automatically in ML. Okay, please note that. This is an important aspect, right? Because I must know, right, which is the more important factor. Only then my accuracy will improve. In such a scenario, deep learning is quite helpful, right? Are you all getting what I'm trying to say?
Come again, repeat.
See, suppose I'm trying to predict a disease. I'm considering 100 factors, right? In ML, I need to find which are the factors that are more important, right? Which are the factors that are more important? Only then, because I can't develop an ML model. Yes. Can you ask someone as a question? Go ahead. ML, okay. In machine learning, right? You need to work on fewer factors only. If you have, let's say, 100 factors, you must bring it down to, say, 20 or even best 10 factors, right? So in deep learning, this process of reduction of factors is done automatically. Clear? This reduction of
Yes,
factors
sir.
is done automatically. Right? Clear? You all understand? So whenever you have images, you will have this. Can you give any examples? Another one, a PDF document, let's say, will it come in ML or DL?
Machine learning, sir.
Yeah, machine learning or deep learning. PDF documents. Can I analyze PDF documents?
No, sir, it is unstructured.
Right, good. But it is unstructured. So where do you think this is applicable? This kind of thing is applicable? Where do you think this is applicable? DL, can you give examples? What is it that you know? I will try to build on. Where do you think, this PDF image, can you give any example of a typical ML application and a typical DL application? Can whatever you tell me, and then I will explain. Can you give an example of ML application?
Any classification models for the given tabular data set?
Okay. No, but I'm talking of real life examples. You're just informing, the afternoon session will start at 3. Okay. Not
Sir,
at 2.
to predict a disease based on the images, we go for deep learning, sir.
Correct. I'm asking for real life applications. Real life application. Can you give examples of real
Sir,
life?
using medical data, we go for prediction.
Yes, that is a disease prediction. Correct. Right? We can predict. What else?
Cancer prediction.
Cancer. Yes, correct. In
Weather,
disease,
weather
yes.
report prediction, sir.
Yes, correct. What else? Yes, what else?
Sir, in banking, we can find the prevent the fraud activities.
Sorry. Could you come again?
Fraud detection or fraud
Right.
prevention.
Yeah. So can you all believe that? Yes. Can you all believe that AI can detect fraud? In fact, that is one area, my company, Seaport AI, we work a lot, okay, in determining fraud, in detecting fraud, right? So there are lots and lots of applications that you can think of, right? So let me share some examples so you all can understand. Let me share this. So the areas where you can apply, right? Areas where we can apply deep learning application. Okay. So it is used, face detection. No one mentioned that. Everyone mentioned disease, right? So for disease, I can use ML when I am looking at tabular data. When I use images, I can use DL. Can you give an example where I can use images in disease prediction?
Tumor, sir. Cancer prediction. Cancer prediction, sir.
Correct. But explain. DL, what type of image we are using?
X-ray images, sir.
Correct. I can do X-ray, CT, MRI. All these are analyzed. In tabular data, you will have data details like, age and everything, right? Age, sex, you have height, weight, nationality, race, right? Because certain diseases Indians get, certain diseases Caucasians get, right? So race is important and all that, right? Do you all understand how? So since we are almost coming to the close, do you know what is AR VR? Do you know what is AR VR?
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality and virtual reality.
Correct. What is this? What is augmented reality, virtual reality? What is augmented reality and virtual reality?
Within a single image, we can create multiple images, augmented reality. I think so, sir.
Not necessarily. See, it is anything else? Any of you want to answer that question?
So augmented reality
You can
uses
feel the
your
environment
real-world
without.
settings.
Sir?
Yes, yes. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah,
Can you
for
come again?
virtual reality, we can feel the environment without in the same environment.
No, not really. Yeah. Anything else? See, AR, VR is what? Basically, 3-dimension, no? You see things in 3-dimension. You go
Virtual
for some,
reality focus on 3D, sir. It's a
right,
simulation of 3D, virtual reality.
right. You, how many of you watched a 3D movie? There are movies, no? 3D movie. So you see it in 3-dimension. When you see a movie, in a theater or your TV or a laptop, you are watching it in 2-dimension, no? You are not watching in a 3-dimension. Whereas in AR, VR, you are actually watching in 3-dimension. So some of the, AI, right? AR, VR is a separate technology. Okay, it needs to be covered separately. But AI is combining with AR, VR. Okay, I will share a video. Okay, the afternoon session. I will show you a video of how an AR, VR, and AI actually work together. Okay, how the two technologies work together, how it can be applied. I will show you. It's a simulated video, but you will understand it better. Okay, the afternoon session, I'll definitely show you a video. Okay. Can any other examples? How do you think in insurance industry uses deep learning? Can you give example? Someone mentioned about fraud, right? How do you think this is being used in the world of fraud? Correct, Bharti. Your answer is correct, right? Virtual is completely simulated, augmented is live plus digital. Yeah. See, but you can bring live also into the other things. Yes, good. Can you give an example of how DL is used in fraud? How DL is used in fraud? So let's say let's say you have a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, right? You have a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. It gets damaged. If someone is answering, let me see that. Okay, yeah, Instagram feed is augmented. Not really, not really. When I show the video, you will understand what is augmented reality. Okay, it is best understood from a visual. We will see that, when we come for the afternoon. So let's say, your vehicle, let's say you give it to one of your brother or your son or daughter or whoever. They go while taking the two-wheeler or car, they damage the vehicle, right? Luckily, no one is injured, right? There's quite a bit of damage. You take it to a garage. The garage says it will cost 15,000, or let's say 5,000, right? Whichever, but a lot of money. So you want to take it to insurance, right? So how do you think, you are going to claim insurance, right? So you are actually committing a fraud, no? Yes or no? You are actually committing a fraud, no? Would you agree or not? Vehicle is damaged, right? So how will a company, let's take for example ICICI Prudential or ICICI Lombard, right? ICICI Lombard, they need to detect, no? Insurance industry is prone for fraud, okay? Nearly 10% of all claims are fraudulent, right? So how will they find out? Identity verification. Here there is no identity theft, no? Yeah, but you won't say, you will tell that I drove the vehicle. There was no CCTV and all that,
Sir, through
right?
which feature, sir? How it damaged? What are the parts are damaged?
Correct.
For the calculation, we go for DI.
Correct. Correct. So by analyzing vehicle images, okay, the way a vehicle image, right, the dent and all those things. But what will you say? You will say, sir, I went out, somebody banged and went. I don't know who that is and all that, right? So using vehicle images, we can find someone who is likely to, this particular claim is fraudulent or not, right? This particular claim is fraudulent or not. Okay. So we will see some more examples, in the afternoon session. We are almost at the top of the hour. Any questions? We will stop shortly.
Sir,
As I,
when we go
yes,
for segmentation, ML is best or DL is best, sir?
when you go for segmentation, if you are using images,
Okay, sir.
deep learning, if you use tabular data,
We go for ML.
that's all, yes.
Okay.
But I will answer your question. It's a good question. Keep that. Okay. Let's bring it up. We will look at another aspect of AI. Any other point?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other point? Any other question? So as we announced, we will start at about 3 p.m. Okay. The second session is at 3 p.m. As I said, I will show an AR/VR video. Okay, so you understand a live scenario, right? And I will also show an application, of a PDF extraction engine, how we extract information from PDF images, right? Any other questions? 3 p.m. The afternoon session is at 3 p.m. 3 to 4, yes, yeah.
Any other doubts?
Any other doubts, or we will
Any other doubts or
stop
queries
here?
from the participants?
Yeah.
Feedback link is actually shared already, sir.
Okay. So if there are questions, mull over it. We are going to meet again, right, at 3 to 4. Yes, yes, Subhash.
The participants are requested to join at 3 p.m. Since sir is having some official meeting, client meeting, we will meet again at 3 p.m. today.
Okay. Thank you. We will meet again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech, sir.
Okay. So welcome back, all of you, to the afternoon session. Right. So let's get started. So what did we see so far in the morning session? We saw what is meant by AI. We saw ML and DL, right? And we also saw how this is different from data science. We also saw pattern recognition, right? And why it is called as artificial intelligence, right? Those are the things that we saw in the morning session, right? Then we started seeing some examples, right? We saw some examples. We also saw what is big data, that is unstructured and structured, right, in the data framework. These are the things we saw, right? Now, we also saw that this is for tabular data, and this is for your MP3, MP4, JPEGs, and PDF. Now, the question is, what is the, what are the, what do I say? Few of you are mentioning, right? ML or DL, there are two types. One is supervised and other is unsupervised. Now, can anyone tell me what is the difference between the two? What is the difference between supervised and unsupervised? What is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning? There is something called regression and classification, right? Where do they fit in? Supervised as label data. Okay, what else? What about others? Yes. What about others? What about others? Yes, only one person has responded. You don't know what is supervised, unsupervised? Yes. You all know, morning, all of you are quite enthusiastic, right? Yes, please tell me. I think all of you know the answer. Rather, most will know the answer. What is the difference between supervised and unsupervised? Supervised, yes, as Harneet correctly mentioned no guide. Okay, that is one way of looking at it. You have in supervised, what we use the term labeled data. Okay? There is no labeled data. What is this labeled data? Can anyone explain? What do you mean by labeled data? What is labeled data? Right? What is labeled data? Audio is disabled. That is okay. You can put it in the type. You can put it in the chat. Labeled data is the feature which was known for the application. What else? No. Correct. But my question is, what is labeled data? Assigning the name. No, but assigning the name. Beyond that, what? Target data is known. Correct. What is a target? What is a target? Lakshmi has correctly mentioned, labeled data is a target. Right? So what is a target? What is a target? Final prediction. Correct. Correct. So if you see, let's say I am trying to predict insurance charges, right? Based on age, sex, BMI. All of you know what is BMI, right? What is BMI?
Body mass index.
Index, body mass index. It's a formula of height and weight, right? So I am predicting based on these 4 factors, right? So in my data set, for the purpose of training, I need all these information along with insurance charges, right? So this is labeled. I will have one record in which age, sex, BMI, past history, plus the insurance charges will be there. Right? This is my raw data.
मुझे वैसे बात करते करते खारिश हो रही है
Hey, can you please go on mute? Hey, can you please go on mute? Yeah. So plus the insurance charges, everything will be there. So this is known as label data because this is what we are trying to predict. Label data is what we are trying to predict. You can also call it as a reference. In unsupervised data, this label will not be there. Right? So for example, if this label is not there, what can unsupervised learning really do? What can unsupervised learning really do? If there is no label data, what will unsupervised learning do? Clustering. So what will it do? It will cluster. Which is in unsupervised data, there is no learn the similarity. It will help to create segments. Customer segments. Right? It will help to create customer segments. What are the different customer segments? Can anyone give an example? Can anyone give an example? What are the customer segments? Like you have, when you, for example, in an organization, you will have large accounts, large customers, small and medium business, retail customers, and the like. Right? That is an example of customer segmentation. Is this clear? Any doubts? Right? So label data is there in supervised. Now, where will regression and classification come in? Where will regression and classification come? Correct. Regression is continuous data, but whether it is part of supervised, unsupervised, what is that? So can't you have regression in unsupervised? Can't you have in unsupervised? Can't you have? So ML and DL has got supervised, unsupervised. Now where will regression and classification fit in? Please answer. Sorry?
Supervised learning, we have
No, I can't hear.
regression. Classification, regression, and supervised learning, sir. Regression is whenever we are using the continuous range of data.
Correct.
We using this regression. Classification means we classify whether this animal is cat or dog. Like that, we will predict whether this or that is only the classification. Continuous data, weathering, all these things we can give examples of regression.
Right. My question is, where will it come? Regression and classification under supervised or unsupervised?
It's a supervised learning.
You are all clear about it? Hey, can you please go on mute? There's too much background noise. There's just too much background noise. Please mute your line if you're not speaking. Right? So under supervised, you have regression and classification. Right? Regression is continuous data, classification is categorical data. Right? So this understanding is very, very important to all of you. Okay. Now let me show you, an application that you all can see. So this is an example, of an application, right, that I am showing. What we are doing in this application is we are going to extract some documents, right? Extract some information from those PDF documents. For example, one of the example is, I am taking this resume, right? This is in the form of PDF document, as you can see. We want to take name, date of birth, address, telephone, email from this document, right? So as I said, a PDF is an unstructured data, right? So from this, I want to extract information, right? So how we will do is I am uploading, okay? So this is the data and this is the application. I just need to click browse. I will select this sample. This is complete, upload is complete. Now view the output. This is available, right? So now I can close it, and I can also have this, as a Excel file, right? Now, what am I doing here? If you see here, what am I doing in this application? I showed a simple application. I am giving a web interface, right, for users. Behind the web interface is the entire DL and ML application, right? So users can upload and see the results. Clear? Are you all understanding? Any doubts, any questions in this application? Any doubts or any questions in this application? Please, you need to ask, right? Only then. See, I'm showing a real life application, right? Something that you have done with the client, right? So this is how the face recognition also works, right? How many of you use the face recognition system? Can you give an example of face recognition system? Only one. Bharti has raised her hand. What about others? Face recognition, yes. Are you not using it in your mobile phone? Mobile unlock, correct. Right? It is used a lot in surveillance, right? Biometric punching, yeah. Now, if you see, I can even find out you're all attending this lecture, right? Based on your facial features, I can even find out whether you're all satisfied or not satisfied with this lecture. I can find out from this. Right? I gave in the morning, I gave the example of insurance fraud detection, right? If, just from images, an insurance company can determine whether they are fraudulent or legitimate. Can anyone tell how this can be used in retail? Can you all think? How do you think this can be applied in retail?
To find out the shopping trend, sir.
Like?
In Amazon, Flipkart, etc.
No, but they are not, yeah, you can say that, but they are not using any images there, right? Let's say you are in a physical shop, physical retail shop. Let's say you are in a mall, right? Or let's say you are.
Predict the barcode, sir. To get the barcode and
Barcode
the corresponding price.
See, that is just a scanning thing, right? There is no intelligence involved here. What is the thing, you are, you can see here. What is the thing that you can see here? See, I can find out which area, let's say you're in a mall. which shop has got more people, no? And accordingly you can plan. Or if some people are trying to lift anything, right? System can automatically see, right? Are you all getting it? All these are, if someone is trying to take away an object, right? Commit a theft, you can easily find out. How do you think this can be applied in a college environment? Can anyone give an example? You're all, professors, right? So tell me from a college environment how this can be applied.
Sir, it recognizes our face during biometric.
Correct. Beyond that, any other example? Any other example?
Automatic face detection in the classroom.
Ma'am, your voice, it's echoing. Yes, student attendance is a good one. How do you think, Ajita, ma'am, student attendance can be done?
Pattern recognition.
How?
Facial recognition, using facial recognition.
Correct, but tell me an application area, no? Deep student attendance, right? In library, how will you walk? Give me an example. Can I use this in examination, conducting examination? Invigilation? Can I use this in invigilation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How will you use this in invigilation? Tell me.
Movements, based on the movements.
Huh?
Based on the movement.
Based on the movement, what will you detect? What will you detect from invigilation? Monitoring, correct. Remote monitor, but beyond that, if let's say you are one is remote monitoring. What I'm saying is that all the students are writing the examination in a hall, right? Can AI be used to monitor the examination?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How? How?
Based on the facial expression.
So there is no need for anyone to invigilate the examination, right? Software can find out who is cheating, who is not cheating, right? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not just remote monitoring. I'm saying even if there is a physical examination, I can very easily find out. Right? Day is not far off, right? Where exams are conducted without, anyone, from the college. Right? Any other example you can think of, right? That I have not mentioned it here, where deep learning can be used. Okay, how will you do traffic control means what?
Behavioral.
Right. What else?
That's our behavior analysis.
Behavior analysis. What else? Right? Fighting or roaming, okay. Any other example? Incoming traffic, right? Okay, we can predict that, yeah. Automated driving, correct, correct. What else? Self-driven cars. What else? Object detection, yeah, yeah. Any other example? I'm talking of, where you can use a video and those kind of analytics, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see this video and we will come back. Let's see one more. Let me share the screen. So the video you just saw is AR/VR, right? So the video you just saw is AR/VR. Now, this is a separate technology, right? Just like how big data is a separate technology, just like how cloud is a separate technology, all these things are working with AI, ML, and DL, right? All these things are working with AI, ML, and DL to make it, meaningful to patients. What you saw is a healthcare scenario, right? Where I can view images in 3 dimensions of different body parts, right? I can view, let's say you have a large equipment. You can't go inside the equipment very easily, no? Some of the equipments in factories are even, some 50 feet, 60 feet high, like heat exchangers in chemical factories, right? Chemical factories. How will you go inside such things? How will you even train people, right? In all those areas, AR, VR is applicable. And AI ML will tell, it will help to predict the maintenance schedule, right? So, which, of all the things that you have used, right? Where do you think AI is, which industry AI is used a lot? Where do you think AI is used a lot? Where do you think AI is used a lot nowadays? Which sector? Okay.
Robotic.
Robotics, yeah, robotics, yes, of course, yes, correct. I'm talking about which industry uses healthcare a lot. Rather, since you brought about healthcare, actually speaking, healthcare, there is a lot of, people are only experimenting. They are not really using AI fully. Why do you think AI is not used fully in healthcare? Given the potential, AI should be used a lot in healthcare, but it is not being used. Why?
Because of getting data from sensor is more complicated.
That is one. What else? Balaji, could you elaborate risk and legal issues? What do you mean by that? Balaji, could you elaborate risk and legal issues? What do you actually mean by that? In fact, that's a very valid point. They are right. Right. Balaji Narayanan is right. Okay. In advanced, in rather any country for that matter, right? In any country for that matter, right? It's got to do with accuracy, right? Let's say you are using yes, human lives are valuable, correct? Let's say you are using an ECG machine. It should give results accurately 99.9% of the cases, right? So is your ML at that level? We are not at that level. Maybe we are 95% accurate. That is not sufficient, no? So I use, which is why healthcare is reluctant. I'm sure all of you will have a doctor, right? So we have talked about AI. Go and talk about disease prediction to your doctor. If you have any of your friends or relatives who are doctors, or if you are visiting a doctor for your medical needs, just say that you learned about AI. It can be used to predict diseases in disease prediction. Ask them what do they think. Ask them what do they think. Just ask them. It's not that easy, Balaji. Along with educationists, doctors are very difficult to change. Yes, kick us out. Correct. Right? Healthcare, there is huge resistance to change. Right? Some of the new people, young doctors they are more open because they have seen technology. Older doctors and all, they don't even explain the procedure, right? They ask you to take whatever he or she is giving. Right? Okay, so we have almost come to the end of the program, right? So we have another 10 minutes or so. Whatever questions, doubts you have, go ahead. I want to reserve the 10 minutes for Q&A. Any questions? Any doubts? No doubts? People are asking doubts in the morning session, but now you have stopped. Any recent method? As I said, there are a lot of advances that are taking place. Right? A lot of advances are taking place. URL detection, yes. What do you mean by a hybrid model? Can you explain? You're talking of machine learning and deep learning. What do you actually mean by a hybrid model? So for disease prediction, as I mentioned, if it is a tabular data, use machine learning. Images, videos, use deep learning. Yes, you can use deep learning, in URL. Any kind of fraud, surveillance, it's big. Any other question? Combining two algorithms. See, the thing is, okay. See, two questions, combining algorithms. In fact, we always do what we do in the industry is we evaluate almost 10 or 15 algorithms, okay? And we will choose what is best. That's why I told in the morning, okay, many times we have seen logistic regression, in a classification problem, right? Logistic regression does the job for me. I don't need to go for, any advance. I get a very good accuracy. In trading, for example, right? We have started using deep learning a lot, right? A lot of interesting libraries are coming up. Okay, it can be used a lot, in stock market prediction. See, if you see the stock market, they come under a type of prediction known as time series. Okay, time series forecasting or prediction, right? So you can use deep learning and all. Yes. Anything else? Any other questions? Ask. We have some more time.
Govind, Arunjit here.
Yes.
I had an observation. See, when we are talking of deep learning, we were saying about tabular data for ML and image data for deep learning, right?
Correct.
But when you talk about artificial neural networks and convolutional neural networks, which is part of deep learning,
right?
So typically in convolutional neural networks, you use images, right? Image recognition and all that.
Yes.
But for you, when it comes to artificial neural network, you are still using tabular data, correct?
Yes, correct. That is correct. You're right. See, that's a very good question. That you mentioned about, right? In all this, we use tabular data. It's about, see, an algorithm is there, but where do I use in an optimal manner, right? Because in a real life scenario, you have costs to take care, you have time to accommodate, because many of the algorithms will take time, right? Many of the algorithms will take time. So it's all about how do you balance it. See, that's why I said the best, use of a deep learning is more in image thing, right? Whereas some of the other algorithms I can use in a tabular data as well. But am I making the best use of it? Is the question, right? So always I optimize, multiple factors at play.
For example, if I'll just tell you that I have a regression data where, for example, I want to detect the price of a house, just an example, which could depend on multiple factors, multiple features or independent variables. But I could, it's in a Tableau data, the same data I could do it using some regression algorithm in ML, and I could also use it using an artificial neural network using TensorFlow or Keras libraries. So as a data, how will you, what sort of advice you would give? If you are to give in this situation, what should we go for? What is the
advice? See, the advice is again, see, if let's say, the scenario that you mentioned, if let's say you have 10,000 records, say about 5 features, right? Go for multiple linear regression itself, that will do its job. When your volume is more, you have say 100 factors, that is when your deep learning actually helps, right? As the complexity of data increases. Remember I mentioned, in the morning, about dimensionality reduction, right? Where I try to reduce the factors. That is where the deep learning, see, it is like when I, for going from, a 10-kilometer distance, is it better to use a helicopter or an aeroplane or a rocket? Theoretically speaking, you can use all three, right? Or I can even use a car or a two-wheeler or a cycle. So what is the best that will, that I can use, where I can optimize, because there are conflicting, priorities, in front of me. Yes, which, yeah.
Yeah, but you were saying that suppose I've got 10 features, say 100 features, right? And using using dimensional reduction analysis like principal comp PCA or LD, whatever. So you can reduce the number of features so that you can focus on those features which can explain the maximum variability in the data, right?
Correct. You can do that.
But you are saying that the dimensional reduction happens automatically in
deep learning. Correct.
But then how does deep learning algorithm tell you which are the factors which are most which of these factors, which are the 3 factors which are explain the maximum variability?
It won't tell. That is one of the black boxes of AI, right?
Yeah.
The question that you have asked, it's one of the black boxes. For example, among all the people who are here, right? Who are here, suppose I tell, if I run a deep learning application, who is not satisfied, right? Or satisfied with the lecture. The application will tell, but it will not tell why. That is one of the black boxes that we have in a AI scenario, right? Of course, there are other technologies that are coming up to address it, but we are far from it. Yeah. Any other questions? See, multiple disease prediction research, which, see, that is why I'm telling you what type of data you have, right? Anish has asked question on, disease prediction, right? Let's say if you are working on a tabular data, you try all the algorithms with you, right? That is what we do in a real life. We try 10 to 15 algorithms and take the one which gives good results for me. You should not be satisfied with one algorithm, right? And you have to evaluate the cost because you need to deploy it, right? Whether it is feasible from a cost time perspective, and only then you take a decision. It is not just accuracy, right? Apart from recall, precision, which are the other factors we can improve, right? See, that is for a classification, right? It is always a trade-off between, your precision, recall, and all that factors. It is a trade-off because what I'm interested in is whether my true positive rate is good or my true negative rate is good, right? Because in all the fraud detection, it's not just saying that something is not fraud. It's equally important that something which is a legitimate transaction, I should not categorize it as fraud, right, Suganya? So that is where you need to balance the different metrics. Again, it all depends on the priority, it depends on the industry, right? That is what happens. Algorithm selection is a very complex process. Accuracy is just one aspect. You look at time, you look at should I look beyond accuracy into true positive, true negative rate? Should I look at precision, recall? All those things I balance it out, right? All those things I balance it out, and then I uh, share it with all of you, and then I take a decision. So it is always, it is like an optimizer. It is like when you're going to buy a dress, right? Yes, design is important, fit is important, color is important, price is important. So you balance everything and buy the dress, right? That is how we choose the algorithm also. Any other questions? Someone asked about LSTM, okay? So that is primarily used in NLP, text data, right? This is again a big area. So how can we club big data and deep learning? See, as I said, one thing please understand. Deep learning requires lots of data, lots, right? Only then it can do a good job. So how will you, let's say you have images, PDF, MP4, all these things are big data. So this is my database. A big data framework, is my database. And then I will write the deep learning application. So everything works alongside. That is why I said, all the technologies that, we talked about, right? We have big data, we have AR, VR, right? We have robotics process automation. We also have, industrial automation, right? We have cloud. All these things work with AI. Please note, they are all different. They are not AI, but they all work with AI. Yes, we have a few more minutes, couple of minutes. Any other questions? Okay. So if there aren't any questions, thank you all of you. As I said, I hope you liked it. My objective is to get you that, conceptual clarity, right? Suganya, AN and artificial neural network. See, understand the big data is a data handling framework, right? Please understand. Big data is a data handling framework. It is like a RDBMS, right? Instead of tabular data, I have. So there is no any algorithm can work with big data. Any algorithm can work with big data, right? But ideally a deep learning framework like your CNN, RNN cannot work. Ma'am, we can't hear you. Okay, we will stop here and I will hand it back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call upon our HOD head of the department CSBS, that's Anandi ma'am, to give vote of thanks.